what you're hearing is not what I sound like. We're having some type of issue on my side, audio-wise, that I've been trying to fix for like the last half hour, and cannot figure it out. So I sound like super deep.
Dion, you sound so baritone.
I know, but I mean, like, I mean, no, I want to sound like me. People are gonna get freaked out. They're gonna listen in their car.
Gold Squadron, please begin takeoff procedure. Gold Squadron.
This is episode 71 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales. That sounds like I am a Motown singer today because we're having audio issues, but we're going forward anyway. This is the Barry White episode, and today I'm joined by I'm not pretending to be a girl online anymore, Nate Moore.
Anymore. There was a period where I was, and I was damn good at it. This is my coming out video, by the way.
And throw the bombas, William Hagwood.
Lisa got a grand army. That's why you know liking Misa thinks.
All right, before we go too far, let's talk about our upcoming live streams. We have this weekend, August 8th, I would look at the 8th. August 11th and 12th, we're streaming two store championships. We're streaming from Dragster Games, and on Sunday, we'll be at Pastimes, our home store. So that should be a lot of fun. And we cannot forget our upcoming event that we have to talk about. That's the Gold Squadron Classic, especially with all these 2.0 releases and spoilers that came out over GenCon. I'm super excited for it. We have decided the format. It is going to be what we're calling open list construction, meaning anything that is in the conversion kits and Wave 1 are free to play. You play anything from there. Yeah. So I know some people were asking, like, is it going to be Wave 1 only, or how we were going to do it? Anything's legal. It's an exploratory contest, and we're there for charity. We're going to have a good time. 6 rounds, and everybody with the same record gets it's the same prizes. Yep. Jumped the gun there. We were at GenCon 2018. I know I'm still super tired. How are you guys feeling?
I definitely took a recovery day on Monday.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Gen Con made me feel like I was getting older, because a lot of time, like, me and Will both were like, oh man, it's 2 a.m. Let's play like 3 hours. Like, yo, let's start a game of Twilight Imperium. And then we sat down and we went, I'd rather go to sleep.
Poor choice.
I mean, we're just exaggerating, but yeah.
Yep. And so our cast today is essentially all about the things that happened at Gen Con. We were on the ground floor. We had cameras going, recorded a bunch of things. It was super fun. So let's start by just talking about the North American Championship, which, in my opinion, it's important what came out of it, but when it comes to the future, it's going to be the least remembered thing. So the winner was Duncan Howard. Congratulations to Duncan. All of the games that we recorded are going up on our YouTube page. I think I have up to round 4 of Swiss right now, starting so the final top 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, round 6, 4, something like that. But yeah, so tons of games going up on there, as well as the 2.0 event games. About half of those are up right now. So we'll just do a quick, we're not doing any like round by round or even what we played, but let's just talk about what we saw out there on the field that was, maybe more than what we were used to. Will, what did you see out there?
A lot of Nim. Nim has not gone away. I ended up playing 3 of them out of 7 games. So almost a majority, I think. Pretty close to it. And I would say no scum. Scum was almost absent.
No scum anywhere. No, I didn't see it either. What were some things that you saw, Nate?
I saw Actually, I saw Scum. No, I did see a lot of Nim, and I saw a lot of X-wings, and what else did I see? I saw a lot of Reapers. Reapers were everywhere, and which is funny because I was kind of a counter to that. Yeah, Dion's like going, "Whoa, there are a lot of Reapers," which sucks because I am a hard counter to the Reaper, and I'm a hard counter to Duncan and Andrew Bunn, but I never went against them. And
Way
in
to go.
fact,
Match up better.
I know, right? So I actually was fifth in Swifts, went against the 60th person in 60th place, and I was like, oh, I'm feeling very confident about my abilities, and I got paired against my counter. I was like, oh, this is gonna be hard, and it just didn't work out. But you know what? I was really actually happy at the end because I was like, oh, I can actually enjoy GenCon because I didn't get to do that last year. We were stuck playing X-Wing for 2 full days and didn't get to see anything.
I was stuck winning.
I was
Dang
stuck
it.
winning. I'm terrible. Oh, I know, it's just a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Myself, I will totally agree with you, Nate. I also saw a ton of Reapers, just Reapers all over the place. So yeah, I mean that was essentially what we saw at North American Championships. Congratulations to Duncan. Lots of great games happened, but I want to get into some of the spoilers that we saw, and some of the second edition things that that came up. So let's talk about the second edition pre-release event first, guys. So you know, we had a ton of stuff got released. You're able to buy everything in Wave 1 of second edition, but there was an event there we were able to play. So my question to you gentlemen are, what are some of the highlights from playing in that second edition event that you remember?
I remember distinctly that first game. I got played, or I paired up against Nick Tobin, and he finally beat me. But we played that first game with no asteroids, and wow, without it was I don't know, what I want to say, like, refreshing, because at one point my Luke had died. And it was just Nick's Luke versus my versus my Dutch. Dutch has no turret or bombs, just a torpedo I've been trying to shoot for about 6 rounds. And that Luke, without asteroids, with an open playing field, oh man, just ruined old Dutch. We picked up in the event, you could pick up those little focus tokens. Right, the focus and evades, and I think Nick did it, but I did it as well. I set it up to where Luke could boost and pick up 2 of them, and in one of my games I picked up 2 focus tokens. Never used them. didn't need them with Dutch throwing me target locks and the Force. I never once needed an actual focus token.
Nate?
So, what I saw and everything is like a lot of people picked Dutch and Luke because it was like, hey, 2 things that can throw a bunch of missiles, just because in a 2-ship build, throwing 4 dice and everything, mod it up, like, helped a lot. From what people told me, because I didn't get to go against any Imperial players, but Allie did. She actually got to play as the Darth Vader, and she said it was just ridiculous. Like, Darth Vader just was really dominating people, and because of the way, for those who are familiar with how the 2.0 event happened, we were given acrylic, focus and evade tokens, and we get to place them on the board, kind of like obstacles, and if you run over them, you get them, and they don't go away. Well, a lot of Vader players just go over 3 of them, and then the Vader just became impossible to kill. He was able to, like, just token up and do a lot of really crazy stuff with him in the Force and doing all the other shenanigans. He was looking really good.
Yeah, I mean, when you take that threat card Vader and you put him in like in a squad builder and you build it out now, he's worth like almost 90 points, or I think it is 90 points. I mean, it was a pretty beefy Vader. But anyway, yeah, had a great time. It was interesting to put myself in that mindset of doing the correct barrel rolls. I think that was the biggest thing that I had to pay attention to while I was playing. just because I know I wanted. I kept thinking in first edition barrel roll mindset, like, oh, I can get to this spot this way, but just not having that extra quarter base front or back actually made a difference visually when I was looking at the board. So had a ton of fun. Again, all the footage of that put up, is being put up on YouTube, or is up by the time you're listening to this. And yeah, it was tons of fun. Plenty of people made mistakes. It was a good time. A lot of people were flying casual, but it was fun having an event that was a little bit different for seasoned players. But I really liked how it basically built step by step for new players. Because one thing, there was over 400 people who played in it. It was great. It was a great turnout. But there was a ton of brand new people who had never played X-Wing before. And, just I played against 2 people that had never played X-Wing before, or one person who hadn't played for a long time. And they really enjoyed the fact that it was really progressive. So having those type of events for brand new players is super solid. And I look forward to seeing events like that for newer players in the future. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Okay, spoilers. So
What?
Yeah. So Gold Squadron podcast, in my humble opinion, had the absolute best coverage of the in-flight report. Okay, we had 2 cameras going. We had one on the speaker, one on the screen, panning back and forth. I mean, it was beautiful. Thank you to Darwin Schaefer for being my roadie. Okay, I was like, Darwin, I need power. He's like, I got you. I had all this. I was buried under. I wish I would have taken a picture. I was buried under just like a nest of wires because of how I had to set up in the small space I had. But it was tons of fun. The in-flight report, the entire thing is on the YouTube page, as well as the condensed version of just X-Wing stuff. But let's get into what was spoiled, as well as some of the things that we got in article form. We got confirmation that Wave 2 is going to be the Resistance and the First Order, as well as an expansion for the Scum faction. Let's go ahead and start with the First Order. So the first expansion that they spoiled for us was the TIE FO, the TIE FO. And the first pilot here we got is Muse. So one thing that is interesting is, you guys remember when the Force Awakens stuff first came out and everything had like a super generic name?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Epsilon Leader, Epsilon Ace, etc., etc.
Right.
And you're
So
like,
now,
I forget which one is which.
Those are just the subtitles now, and we have actual names for them, which is nice.
So, like, one thing I want to know about these names, like, are these actually like official names? Because I remember, what was it? Not Hellrunner, but who were the 2 like people that were flanking Darth Vader on Yavin at the Death Star battle?
It was Mauler Mythal
and
Backstabber?
Dark Curse.
Dark Curse, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I remember there's DS61. What was it? DS618 and DS614 or something, like A, B, C, D, or whatever. So, but I just wanted to make sure, like, Epsilon Leader's name is actually Muse, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost. Oh man, the pictures went out of order. Crap. This is gonna be fun. You know what? I think we're just whatever. We'll just leave it. Sorry guys, things are just not working today. Yeah, so we got Muse here, aka Epsilon Leader. Initiative 2. At the start of the engagement phase, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. If you do, that ship removes 1 stress token. So, looking at just the chassis of the FO, doesn't look like anything's changed, right?
No, I was looking at what I think is the dial from the blister as well, and it looks almost identical, which is fair. I mean, it was kind of the baseline new TIE fighter. I think it still retains its 2 sloops and hard 2s.
Yep.
That's right. That's really good for like a couple more points than a standard TIE fighter. You get the target lock, you get a shield, sloops, and hard 2s. That's some good value.
Oh yeah.
Okay, just give me timeout in editing and post. I have to change this, edit this. My
All right.
my
Oh
slides
man,
are doing
All
great
right,
things.
timestamp it. Where are we at?
I just-
Hold up, changing the whole thing.
All right, now Dion's gonna use his real voice.
Hi guys.
Hi, this is Dion Morales of Code Squadron Podcast.
I don't understand what's happening right now. I spent so much time putting these in alphabetical order and changing
now
the
they're not.
names, and now they're not coming up in order. Okay.
Alphabetical or numerical?
Well, it's alphanumeric. That way I can make categories, and that's fine. That's fine. We got this. Sorry, people who are watching live. I love you.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
Dun, dun.
I'm not logged in because my internet can't handle me doing all the things.
Okay.
But I was seeing the chat, and I saw the chat was trying to give a shout out to me. I think it was Dutch, the
That's
other
very
Dutch,
well.
not Dutch Vander, top 8 Dutch.
Top 8 Dutch.
Yeah, so
I
shout
didn't get
out
to
to
play
him.
that guy.
Oh, he made sorry Dutch, you made a big mistake in our game, and that's the only way I would have won it. So thanks, I guess.
Oh, by the way,
Thanks
we
for
forgot to talk about how Code Squadron did. We all, was it me, Will, and Dion all made it to
And Francois.
yeah, and Francois
And
all made it
Francois.
to top 64. We made the cut. We're like, yay! And then 3 of us got knocked out right away.
Yeah.
Got
It
backhanded.
just happened. Francois went one more round and then he got knocked down. We're like, man,
Yeah, that one was
We're
on
not-
stream. He got beat by
Oh,
Jaron
yeah,
Foss.
yeah.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
I
was
fixed
flying
the slide.
I think we're all flying well. Just things happen.
Things happen. Alrighty. So we're gonna start that whole section over again. There's the first order section. Hi, people at
Okay,
home.
let's
Love
do
you
that
guys. All right. So the first thing we're gonna talk about when it comes to GenCon spoilers is going to be the First Order. So we confirmed that the First Order and the Resistance are part of Wave 2. Let's go ahead and look at some of these spoilers we got. So FFG on their website did release an article, and they got lots of goodies. In this little spread, you can see a Captain Phasma card. You see, the Upsilon shuttle, and you see some of the art that we're used to. But we do have a couple of things peeking out from there. We'll go through what we can see for sure and what's been spoiled. So here's the first card I want to talk about, and it's an EPT called Fanatical. Can you go ahead and read that for me, Nate?
It is a EPT. While you perform a primary attack, if you're not shielded, you may change one eye result to a hit result.
So if you don't have any shields, you cray. That's all. That's what.
Well, that's great for TIE fighters who are never shielded.
Right.
Well, the foes will have a shield, but once you take damage, when I play any TIE fighter, I start evading immediately. So this will counteract that evade token by giving you some offense as well. It sounds great.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
There's so many new things we've been seeing there. They're like, oh, that could be good. Oh, that could be good. Oh, that could be good. And so we kind of get to like place it together.
exactly.
It's like a kid in a candy store right now. I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. I
Ooh,
can't even.
candy. So much candy. Then Will, along with a couple of other friends, were able to capture some images from the back of the box of the First Order and the Resistance pack conversion kits that they had on display at GenCon. So we got there. If you squint real hard, you do see Kylo Ren crew with a new picture. I do like this new picture. Last Jedi, like bring Luke Skywalker to me. It's that moment, right? So Kylo there, I'll read him. Kylo, my boy, mask behind me. It says action. Choose one enemy ship at range 1 to 3. If you do, spend 1 force to assign the I'll show you the dark side condition to that ship, plus 1 force for whatever ship it's on. Now, this is the exact same text minus the force condition that was on the first edition. But what we don't know, which Will pointed out in our chat earlier today, is we have no idea if I'll show you the dark side does the same thing.
That's true. We're just assuming.
Right.
I don't think that they'll change it too. Maybe you get to pick a crit.
Well, like, this is, in my mind, I'm thinking they might actually keep it the same. Now, crits are, I think, more punishing. They can be more punishing, more brutal in second edition. But for instance, like Blinded Pilot doesn't do the same thing it used to do. Right? You still get to shoot. You just, I think you're down a die or something like that, right?
You can only spend a focus token, or no, you can only use the force.
There you go. So you can't modify your dice, but like it's not. I think the Kylo Ren mechanic doesn't hurt as much in second edition as it would in first edition, where you can just say you don't get to shoot, you're PS0, like it's not as
do you
punishing.
think it's going to affect like how many like pilot damage cards are there versus like ship damage cards? Like what are the new pilot ones?
That's a good question.
Did we forget
think
that? Oh, my deck's in the other room. Shoot.
I want to say it's still 8, but I will say that all of the ones that I consider the worst damage cards
Fuel leak.
are all ship. The fuel leak, direct hit.
Fuel leak is mean. They essentially, I noticed that they put Harpoon back in the game permanently as part of the damage deck. Like, it's all the people bitching about Harpoon. It's like, oh wait, now it's permanently in the game as your damage.
I mean, not.
So I think there's going to be some people messing that up.
Why don't you dodge your crits then? Just don't be critted.
Yeah, just don't get hit ever.
That'll be
Especially
fine.
when there's like less, tokens to like stack.
It is. I do agree that if you take 2 crits in a row and the first one's fuel leak, it'll automatic, and then the second crit is direct hit. You just got dealt 4 damage, sir.
The crits punish so
crits
hard.
are just so mean.
Don't be critted.
Yeah,
There
are 8. I just counted.
There are
them out.
8.
Yeah.
Can you read them off?
Which ones are they?
Yeah, so we have 2 stunned pilots, which are after you execute a maneuver, if you move through or overlap an obstacle, suffer a damage. You have
No, that's different than like I was looking at that. I'm like, wait, so it says obstacles, not ships.
right, correct
So you can crash into other ships. You're just not allowed to like crash into obstacles.
for that one. Yep. Then you have 2 wounded pilots. After you perform an action, roll an attack die on a hit or a crit, gain a stress, action to flip it down. Then there's a blinded pilot we just talked about. You can only modify your dice with the force when attacking. And then there's panicked pilot, which this one sucks. I got this during one of our games, one of our second edition games, and it is just straight up gain 2 stress tokens. Actions are. Go ahead.
So that's what you think. You think that's the show you the dark side card? Stress.
That is that's the one I would give somebody. I think if I had to, that's the one I'd reach for, because it action denies, which does what blinded pilot does, right? Oh, you don't have tokens now, and it locks, not necessarily locks, but it makes a ship more predictable when it comes to maneuvering. So that's what I would go for.
If you get rid of certain maneuvers, you basically get rid of that variance.
Well, it gets rid of the K-turn, which is huge.
Yeah.
Yup. So I think
K-turn's gonna be big in 2.0.
assuming it's the same, but we have no idea.
Yeah.
Then we also have a little peek on General Hux. So what did you think that said there, William?
So it is actually similar to General Hux in first edition.
I don't even remember what he does in first edition.
In first edition, he hands out 3 focus tokens to 3 different ships, and also hands out Fanatical Devotion that can, when you spend that focus, you can make a focus result into a hit and then make it uncancelable. Now, General Hux, as it looks like, it requires you to have a coordinate on your ship. So Upsilon, got to go on the Upsilon, it looks like. And when you coordinate with that, you can coordinate up to 2 additional ships. So you still get that. You get to choose 3 different ships, but instead of just the ship performing the action, all 3 of the ships must perform that action as red. So everybody will get stressed for it. But there don't have to be focus tokens anymore. So you can choose 3 foes and barrel roll them all if you have a high pilot skill Upsilon shuttle. So not bad. I mean, it will stress you, but I like that it can kind of support a mini swarm. A lot of fighters.
Cool. And then we have in that picture Fanatical, which we did read already.
Mm-hmm.
We did confirm that Kylo Ren is back in his silencer in the Resistance, and the biggest couple of takeaways from here. You notice his initiative is only 5. He's been taken down a peg. I'm so sad. Here's the thing, though, right? Let's be honest. With that dial, I mean, did we see? We haven't seen the silencer's dial in 2nd edition, I don't think.
Was it on that spread?
We haven't got to it yet.
No,
did we pass it? There we go. We have no idea.
Those are those.
There is a 5 straight green on there.
That's probably
it's the Upsilon shuttle doing
it's definitely the silencer dial then.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Upsilon.
Oh yeah, the Upsilon's got a 5 forward green.
Hell yeah! I mean, they do things.
No, you're being sarcastic? Yes.
What? What?
Yeah, that is the silencer's dial. So yeah, it still has a 4 straight green. Blue, 5 straight blue, but now the 3 banks are no longer blue. They're fair and just. They're white. So it's essentially an interceptor dial with the 5 straight green.
So they're just a little bit better than an interceptor right now.
Right, dial
because that's what the silencer looks like. It looks like an updated interceptor.
Mm-hmm. And then does have the ship ability auto thrusters, which was part of the interceptor. Right, the interceptor has the same thing. It says after you perform an action, you may perform a red barrel roll or boost action. Actually, there's something a little bit different here. Do you notice that ability actually reads a little different now? It says after you defend, not after you're hit. After you defend, you may spend 1 force to assign the I'll show you the dark side condition to your attacker.
Yeah, it just seems way more flexible now. You can you flew Kylo. I'm sure dark side ended up on the wrong person in some games because in shooting order, the person who you didn't want to have dark side ended up doing damage first.
Mm-hmm.
So now you get to choose a little bit.
You get to choose. So with the power level of the dial coming down and the initiative coming down, I think they gave a little boost to the ability. They're like, you're not super broken movement wise, but we'll boost you up a little bit. I still think he's going to be pretty expensive. You do notice there also are no linked actions on that bar, but neither are on the interceptor. They only have the auto thrusters.
It has the linked action of auto thrusters, where it says if you perform an action, you can do a red, barrel roll or boost. That's technically linked if you think about it. Just
right. It's just not. I mean, it is, but it's not, right?
It is, but it's not because it's not what it said. No, it's good.
That's right. Let's see. Oops.
Linked is linked.
Yeah. So there's this picture here that is a little bit blurry, but it does show one important thing. What does that show there, Will?
I have a better picture of it now.
I know. I didn't have time to change.
No worries. I'm pulled up the better picture. I thought I was clear, but it was not. That shows Lieutenant Dormitz in the Upsilon. and running down the Upsilon's. Well, Lieutenant Dormant's has the same ability. It looks like other ships can be placed at range 0 to 2 of you. Upsilon's ship ability apparently has to do something with a cannon and rolling additional die. Sounds great. They still have 6 hull and 6 shields, have a reinforce, white coordinate, and white jam. Epsilon's, man, they needed all the help they can get, so hopefully that works out. But what you're referencing is the SF.
Mhm.
Every action on the SF has a link to white rotate. And I think it says you can only turn your indicator to your front or to your rear. Actually, no, it looks like it should only be front or back, because they reference a gunner card as well.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, so now everybody who was super salty that the SF didn't have a a crew slot in first edition. I'm sure Frank Brooks, Alex Davey, Max were just like, you know what? Shut up. Here, look, you got your other person in there. Now leave me alone.
You probably need like a gunner to like use it or something effectively. But no, I kind of like that idea that there's 2 people in there.
Yep, and one thing I'm going to bring up that the chat brought up about Kylo Ren. One thing that we do notice, let me jump back to him. We don't know if the I'll show you the dark side condition is unique, or if you can assign it to multiple ships. So that's probably something that ends up being on the I'll show you the dark side card. I probably think it could only be on one, but that's nothing wrong with speculating a little bit. There's our packaging for our FO TIE Fighter, and there's the spread that they give us. So if we take a peek at the spread, you can see the what are those things called again? Quick build card on the left for a couple of new pilots that we don't see yet, but we get their names. You got Commander Malarus and T93465. What's the ability on that long shot pilot, Nathan? Nathaniel? Sorry, I just called you Nathan. Wrecked.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm coming for you soon.
It's fine.
No, long shot, which is now Zeta Ace. While you perform a primary attack at attack range 3, you roll 1 additional attack dice. So that's kind of interesting. It's like if you're at range 3, you get to roll an extra die. They get to. This is kind of like the Zuckus thing, right? Where it's better for you to actually roll extra attack die, even if they roll an extra evade die.
Mm-hmm.
Because chances are it's just percentages, and your percentages are slightly better.
And then what can you tell me about advanced optics?
Advanced optics. While you perform an attack, you may spend 1 focus token to change 1 of your blank results to a hit result. So it's different. You don't get to carry that focus like you got so used to doing before. Now you just gotta spend a focus to basically turn something into a hit. So it's basically like, spend the focus to turn it focus into a hit or a blank into a hit. You basically get a hit.
Mm-hmm.
I get a hit. You get a hit.
Yeah, it's a rarely used card in first edition called Weapons Guidance.
Mm-hmm. Which nobody used ever.
Very, very rarely. Will, is there anything different about that dial?
I don't
I don't think
so.
I don't think so either.
No, it looks the same. Yep, 2 salutes, hard 2s.
Well, what was that one for Lieutenant Revis? What does he do?
Lieutenant Revis, I'm speculating, says something about an orange token. Let's see.
After a ship at range 1 to 2 gains a red or orange token, if you do not have that ship locked, you may acquire a lock on it. I'm assuming you can't. It's funny. We're so used to reading these words on these cards. They use in the same font, so you're used to the shape. That's all you can see is like the very top of the letters, and I knew exactly what it was.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
So if someone K turns and you have them locked, something will happen. That's
Maybe it
fine.
could be good. Maybe it could be bad for you.
I think it's if you don't have it locked. If you don't have
Yeah.
them locked, you get one.
Oh,
I think that's what it is.
Oh, someone K turns in front of you on your
Mhm.
PS1. So that's not too bad.
No, not
Or
at all.
PS1 initiative, blue maneuvers initiative.
Yeah, words.
So,
Then go ahead.
so Omega Leader, we saw this before, has now been renamed Midnight. Where that came from, I don't know. But it's the same thing. While you defend or perform an attack, if you have a lock on the enemy ship, that ship's dice cannot be modified. And it's the same thing as Omega Leader,
Yeah.
which is now Midnight.
And note she is initiative 6.
Yeah,
she's at
baby.
the top. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, this pilot is going to be even better in second edition than in first edition. Just tokens are so rare, and if you are like good at denying actions with another ship, plus Omega Leader locking something down, I mean, she's gonna be something to a force to be reckoned with, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So so now this ability doesn't combo with Juke anymore because they can't modify their dice at all. Even the attacker can't modify it. Any thoughts on it? Can you just slap Fanatical on this ship and call it a day? Right? This doesn't
yeah.
really need any combo with it. This is just an amazing ship as it is, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you would want to have some modification yourself. Maybe the only thing, maybe something defensive might help. Just keep it alive longer.
I mean, that's what people typically do on Omega Leader now is like they usually try to either defend her and with comm relay to just make sure that she survives, or if they have the extra points they'll throw a juke on for offensive, but typically it's always defensive on her because she's like the late game. She's not like the damage dealer. She's definitely the late game.
Yep. Then we have Muse, an Initiative 2 Epsilon leader. At the start of the engagement phase, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. If you do, that ship removes 1 stress token. So this is the same ability as what Epsilon leader had in first edition.
Did anyone else's brain start playing the Muse song Stockholm Syndrome the moment you said the word Muse? Or is that just me?
Just you.
Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Then we get to the Resistance. This was a fun one to pick apart. We had quite a few close snap-up shots to examine. So we get our spread here. It's the first thing we see. And you see a lot of pilots and new things, new names that we haven't seen before. And I'm gonna get a little nerdy here, okay? So looking at just widespread, you do see a bomber, a BSF bomber on the blue one. Let's see on the screen here. It's right. Oh wait, it jumped the gun on me.
The Finch Dallow.
Yeah, Finch. I just finished reading the book that he's in, and man was a hero. That's all I gotta say. No spoilers. It's a good guy. I do like the new Chewbacca art that we see there. But we see Finn. We see Finn's gunner ability. It says while you defend or perform a primary attack, if the enemy ship is in your forward firing arc, you may add 1 blank to your roll. And we don't know.
Something can be rerolled or otherwise
modified. This die may or something like that. It sounds pretty similar to what he had before, right?
Yup.
Yeah, easy peasy. Looking at the dials that are in that spread, I believe that's going to be the T-70 dial and the BSF bomber dial. Does that seem right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So let's take a look at the first snapshot that we got at the back of the box. We see Ray and Finch and Poe. Let's talk about Ray a little bit. What do you see there, Nate?
Zoom in so I can see it.
Enhance.
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 Enhance. When you perform a tech in your primary arc, you may change one of your blank something or hit results, and then that's it.
So what I think it says is
Mhm.
when you perform an attack inside your forward firing arc, you may change one of your blank or focus results to a hit result.
Oh, I would say or hit result to a focus or hit result.
Yeah, to a focus or hit
To
result, or no, sorry, it might.
I mean, probably an evade or hit result.
Yeah, so still super good, right?
Yeah.
Still super
Yeah.
good.
Oh, it just combos with Finn as it's supposed to.
Yup. I'm liking it.
Yep,
So
yep.
then, is Poe about the same or?
Poe, I think we actually get a better picture of Poe here. We'll get to him in a minute. But then Finch Dallow, what do you think that says there, Will?
It sounds a lot like the old Bob ability, Crimson Specialist.
Yeah.
Looks like when you drop a bomb, you can put it in the play area, touching your ship instead. So it's nice to see an old Crimson Specialist come back, as he was pretty much the only SF used.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
No
good.
one used Crimson Leader. How many times have you used Crimson Leader?
Once when I first came out, and then I never used them.
Never
again.
touched it again.
Never touched.
Turns out the rattled conditions a lot harder to actually get use out of.
Oh,
Yeah. So, like, I also noticed Ray has a force ability. She gets what? She started with a force.
2 force.
And gets one every round. Man, that's gonna make her just disgusting.
She's gonna be tanky. I mean, you're gonna pay for it. The force pilots are paying for it, but yeah, she's gonna definitely be strong. She has to be. She's Ray.
I like. Well, unless there's more missing. Actually, her pilot ability doesn't need the force, so you should be able to combo more things using her force. Then, like like the different like sense or the different force talents.
Mm-hmm.
And she has the same actions as the normal Falcon, or
Yes, that's all the same.
so they all have the inherent like red boost and red.
Wait, is the rotate arc wasn't red on the rebel
No,
one?
I don't think it is.
Oh, that's so thematic because it's older.
Yeah,
It's getting rusty.
That's getting a little rusty.
Unkar Plut not fixing that turret.
That's right. That's super cool. I like that. A couple things you'll see there also on the BSF bomber is you'll notice that it does have a white rotate and it has a reload action. So
is that going to be for the bombs then?
Yep, that'll be for your bombs for sure.
Cool.
And anything else you can put on there. I don't know if they're going to give you missiles or anything because we don't know any slots. Then we have some crew here and some S-foils. Will, S-foils.
So let's see. Well, this is the closed version, assuming that as it is with the T-65 that the open is just normal. When you close them, while you perform a primary attack, if the defender is not in your bullseye, roll 1 fewer attack dice. So you can still get that pinpoint shot if you close your S-foils. But it also gives you a barrel roll and a focused link to red barrel roll. So kind of flip-flopping. They start with the boost naturally and can close for a barrel roll. But if you're honestly though, if you're barrel rolling to arc dodge and you're at range 1, they should still be in your bullseye. So it doesn't really seem like a penalty.
No, it does not. Like if you're doing that, you're flying what people like to say like in the ace style, and you're like barrel roll boosting and trying to move around. It could be very, very good. It can be very good. Oh, we're gonna get to Poe. Don't worry, we'll get to Poe. Then talk about your Bay Ray. I think that's a gunner slot.
Yeah. It says when you defend or perform an attack, if the blank is in your, is that the mobile arc or is that like
your turret arc? Is what it's called.
Your turret arc. And something about 1 force to change one of your blank results to an evade or hit result. So does she just sound like she's Finn? Only now she's able to do it in the mobile arc.
No, it sounds more like instead of the Force spending to do an eyeball result, Ray
Yeah.
can spend it on a blank result,
Yeah.
which is crazy for. We already thought the Force was nuts. That's even crazier Force.
Yeah. You're gonna pay for. She's gonna be so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man. Which is
So
which
yeah,
is
but
which
she's got
is
to be in
good.
the mobile arc.
Yep. I mean, she's
So
very
could
good.
you imagine putting Finn and Rey in the same like ship? Ugh.
One ship build. Here you come.
There you go. Technically, the Ghost is one ship build.
Yeah, for sure. We got the packaging for the T70 model, which is gonna open and close, which is awesome. And this is our opportunity to talk about our boy Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron, his subtitle is the Trigger Happy Flyboy. That's so cute.
Did they call him that in the movie or?
Well, Leia like slaps him around. I think it's Leia that says it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Leia calls him.
Yeah.
Or no, it might have actually been Holdo.
Holdo. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I've dealt with you, Trigger Happy Flyboys, or something like that.
Holdo? I'm sorry. Like anytime I hear her name, I delete her and just insert Admiral Akbar.
Stop it. All right.
Never.
So his ability says, after you perform an action, you may spend one charge to perform a white action, treating it as red. So essentially, his ability is push the limit. First edition push limit, which is really, really good. The actions available to him are focus, target lock, and boost. But now let's keep in mind those closed S foils. You can also get access to a barrel roll, and a barrel roll linked to boost. So that's I find that very interesting. You can fly him in a arc dodgy way if need be.
Yeah, or he's one of the few ships that can just straight focus target lock.
Mm-hmm. Here I come. And then his ship ability is Weapon Hardpoint. We've seen this one also on the Seek Interceptor, which is interesting to see the ship ability cross factions, because that means that, you know, Weapon Hardpoint can be used on other ships in the future as well. And for the T-70 X-Wing, it is the Weapon Hardpoint. You can equip one cannon, torpedo, or missile upgrade. Looking at some of the stats for the T-70 X-Wing, they get an additional hull, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's gonna make them super expensive. You're gonna bet that, like we saw, like the Defenders they're probably gonna be comparable to the Defenders, where they're both gonna be just super expensive.
Paying for those goods.
Yup.
So there's the spread that they gave us for the T-70 X-Wing. You see a bunch of cool things in there. Let's go ahead and take a peek into these. So Will, take your pick. Anything off the list there?
Oh, it's Black One for sure. After you perform a slam action, which it gives you, you lose one charge, which it has just a single charge. Then you may gain one ion token to remove the disarm token that you get from slam. If your charge is inactive, you cannot perform the slam action.
Oh,
So-
that's super thematic.
Yeah, it's that super boost he does at the very beginning of Last Jedi. This is kind of, it kind of reminds me of the Burnout Slam, illicit.
Yeah.
So one time use slam, but being able to take away that disarm token and on a T-70's dial is nuts. Hard 3 Talon or slam Talon rule. 4 forward, 4K. Ugh. You can hard 3, pose ability to boost. Ugh. Outrageous. And the fact that ions are blue maneuvers, you actually don't mind stressing yourself and taking that ion at the same time. If the possibilities of if Poe still has his Black One available, you just simply don't know where that ship's gonna be.
It's crazy. Well, that's part of the strategy of it, though, right? Is you always have to have that threat open, but once it's popped, it's gone. We also don't know who's going to be able to equip this. We're fairly certain it's going to be like Poe will be able to do it, but what's covered up is the restrictions. So we don't know if there's going to be an initiative cap or it's going to be all T-70s. I'm assuming similar to the black one in first edition that there probably is going to be some type of minimum initiative for it. So the other pilot we see there is Lieutenant Bastian. What does he do there, Nate?
After a ship at range 1 2 is dealt a damage card, you may acquire a lock on that ship. Now, it doesn't actually say whether it's a friendly or enemy ship. You can acquire a lock on that. So I feel like there's going to be some kind of interesting shenanigans about that. What's also nice about that is he's low PS skill. So maybe it's like, oh, everyone else is shot, and obviously people are going to take some damage. But like, by the time you get down to the 2s, that he's like, oh, here's my opportunity. So
Yep.
and I like the kind of sub name there, optimistic analyst. So he's like, I'm analyzing. Oh, look, someone took some damage. I'm going to attack that one.
That's right. And then we see a threat card with Eloasti and Joff Sea Striker on there. So those are two other pilots that we will be expecting here. FFG also said that we're going to be getting an A-Wing for the Resistance, which a lot of people, when the Last Jedi came out, they're like, where's our A-Wing? I can see them at FFG going like, we literally are working on it right now, but you can't have it. And they did talk about
a little bit different, but they look cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. They gave us a spread for this one as well. There it is.
Oh, did they? I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, well, let's discover it together.
No more Arvel Crynid.
Well, this is.
Oh, but he was. Yeah.
This is Resistance, right? So, take your pick, Nate.
Let's do Lulo Lampar. While you defend or perform a primary attack, if you are stressed, you must roll 1 fewer defense die or 1 additional attack die. So, when you defend or perform a primary attack, if you're stressed, so you get to roll 1 fewer defense die or 1 additional attack die.
So you essentially go AGI down 1 and attack up when you're stressed.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I get that. It's like, oh man, I'm stressed out, so that makes me so crazy and reckless, right?
Oh yeah.
Refined gyro stablers. What does it say? You can rotate your inner. What was that?
Your turret arc indicator. Only to your. It's going to be front or back. They did say that during the.
Oh, A-Wings will have a front or a back arc. Wow.
Yep. And one thing you will notice, and it was brought up in the chat, is that Lulo's ability is essentially expose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you really better be lining up those K turns with him, because if you don't, and you put yourself in the range 1 of an enemy ship, it's gonna be a bad time. I feel like these A-Wings are just gonna be dirt cheap. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, man, you're gonna get. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's cool. Go ahead, take that other one, Will.
All right, let's go to we call her Tally, but her full name's Talassian Lintro. She has the deadly approach, and while an enemy ship in your bullseye performs an attack, you may spend 1 charge, which we assume reoccurs. If you do, the defender rolls 1 additional die. So it can work on herself. You line up on the bullseye. You do that just like Concord Dawn face-off maneuver where you just go head-to-head with somebody, and then you can kind of be like, hey, I'm kind of fin round 2. You can get an extra dice. Or if Tally's got her shot lined up bullseye, you can help another one of your ships defend as well. I'm indifferent. I want to see this on the table. I'm still getting used to the how often people can trigger the bullseyes. because the Chemogilas weren't they're not the ace ship that we're used to. So we'll see. We'll have to get practice in their bullseyes to see if we can get these abilities to trigger.
Yep. Then we got a close-up picture of primed thrusters, a small ship only. While you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can perform barrel rolls and boosts even while you're stressed. Same as before. Nothing different there.
Was it 2 or is it like 3 from in 1.0?
Was it 3? I think you're right.
It is 3.
So they reduced it to like down a little bit, which is fine. You know, I feel like 2 stress is legit to kind of like be doing some shenanigans.
Yeah,
I felt like 3 was a little bit too crazy, like those your builds that kind of just go, nah, I'm gonna take everything.
And then we got Targeting Synchronizer, which requires a target lock on your ship. And it says, while a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 performs an attack against a target you have locked, that ship ignores the target lock requirement. So essentially, it's a simplified way to describe what they were trying to do with synchronizing with Targeting Synchronizer in first edition. They're saying people can borrow your target lock when they shoot off missiles. That's all it means. But they can't use it to reroll dice. They can just surpass the requirement for a proton torpedo or something like that to have a target lock. So pretty simple there. Then the next expansion that they talked about was the Mining Guild expansion for Scum and Villainy. Now, do you know the first thing I heard when at the in-flight report? I heard somebody yell, "Another TIE fighter!" Yes, it's another TIE fighter. But
I remember some people actually customized and made these themselves like months ago.
Yeah, because they came out in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
And
I saw them in like 1 episode. I can't even remember.
Yeah. It was maybe 2. It's super cool and different. I think they look awesome, and the fact that they're Scum gives it some flavor, and it has some really interesting abilities from what we can see there. So we take the look at the first set here. Go ahead and grab something, Will.
All right. Well, let's start with this Captain Sivo. He's Initiative 3, and says, while you defend or perform an attack, before attack dice are rolled, if you are not in the enemy's bullseye, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, the enemy ship gains 1 jam token. I like this a lot, actually. This is a really good ability. Jam is super strong, and to just be jamming for free out there, if you're not in somebody's bullseye, sounds great. It also the fact that it works when you perform an attack as well. It reminds me a lot of old Wes Jansen.
Yeah,
but better, because you get to do it before dice are rolled instead of after.
Yeah, that's gonna super shut people down.
Yeah, I think if you have a low pilot skill swarm, or you just need a cheap distraction, I think it'd be good.
I like it. There's also an Initiative 2 Mining Guild Surveyor in there. We have a couple of other pilots shown on the quick build card. You got somebody called Av. Excuse me. And we'll probably see one more. There's usually at least 4 pilots there. There's a copy of Trick Shot, and then there's Static Discharge Veins. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, this says if you would gain an ion or jam token, you may choose a ship at range 0 to 1. If you do, gain 1 stress token and transfer 1 ion or jam token to that ship. So isn't this like the same thing as like the ion displacement things? So or it was basically trying to shrug it off onto people.
That's the same idea, but in
just different abilities.
Right, in first edition, they have a choice to take it. They have a choice to take the ion, and there's no penalty for you. So they took away the choice, but gave you a penalty. So if you pass off the ion, or jam, which is more powerful, then you have to take a stress.
Yeah, so basically, like, oh, I'm going to take an iron or jam. You take the jam, but then I'm stressed. But I don't know
I don't
what's
want
worse, a
this.
jam or a stress.
I don't want it. I don't want it. And then let's take a second here and use this view here. We can actually see the ship ability for the Mining Guild tie, and that is the notched stabilizers. And it says, while you move, you ignore asteroids. Not
Doesn't say debris.
yeah, not debris, not any other obstacle that they might come up with in second edition. It's only asteroids. I still think this is super powerful.
It does. It's also only while you move, so it
Yes.
still will obstruct your shot, and you still can't shoot on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That's right.
throw down some mining ties and some big rocks, and go to town.
Mining
yeah.
tie swarm, here it comes. Well, think about it, right? So many people, when you put a tie swarm out there, they'll like try to drag you through the rocks. You take your mining tie swarm and go, okay. You just go through it. You still get your actions and stuff. As long as you're not landing on them, you're fine. Because then you can.
Yeah, actually, I think there's the dial spoiled on that spread, and it looks worse. I forget. It loses a K turn and gets a 5 forward red. So actually, they might get that ability to be costed the same as the regular TIE fighter, because their dial's slightly worse. So I think you could put 7 or 8 in a swarm easily.
Yep.
You have to buy 7 individual blisters, but
True.
it's not like people haven't done it before.
Yep. Or maybe through the. Because, I mean, we still don't have 100%. FGS told us, we haven't seen any evidence yet, that there will be for each wave that comes out, when new stuff comes, like a card pack, essentially. But I guess you're going to need the cardboard. So yeah, I think you have to buy 7 of them anyway. You're stuck if you want to fly the swarm. Sorry, guys. Then the next piece of big news. I know I wasn't expecting this when I was sitting there in the in-flight report, and if you haven't heard it, hold on to your seats. You are either going to love this or absolutely hate it. I don't think there's anything in between, right? Like, you're like either yes or no.
I'm on the love it side.
I am too. What about you, Nate?
I'm on the tenuous side.
Tenuous. I actually don't know what that word means. Let's learn.
I would look it up. Let's look up the word tenuous.
Siri, what does tenuous mean?
Tenuous means very weak or slight.
Very weak or
That's
slight?
not how I'm using that word.
Well, you are wrong.
So I am weak or slight?
Yes, you are weak or slight.
Wow. Maybe I'm weak to this idea, or maybe I don't know. I'm weird about this idea. Go ahead and spoil it. I'll tell you why I'm a little bit indifferent, or just I'm a little bit like
Okay. The Clone Wars are coming to X-Wing. I'm excited. So this is a screenshot from our in-flight report. I'm excited. How can you guys not be pumped? I'm so pumped right now.
I think it's gonna be really cool. Just like I think it was really funny what Elliot Coffey said. He's like, when they asked like, "Hey, do we have any questions for the developers during the seminar?" And Elliot goes, "Ask them how they plan to balance 7 different factions at once."
So I totally understand that sentiment, but I think, like, how do I say this? We would be getting the same amount of content anyway, right? Like, if they weren't releasing these 2 extra factions, we would be getting something in its place that adds to the other factions. I actually think by separating into more factions, they can actually balance things better because it creates less comboing. They can do different abilities, or just put different synergies together that they maybe couldn't in another faction because it would break it. That's the way I look at it, at least.
So maybe because you kind of put them in pockets, rather, it's easier to balance versus putting them in like these larger spectrums and be like, oh, well, if we put up this new EPT, how does it affect everything on this faction, this faction, this faction? Maybe because
Exactly.
there's less things in each one that it's easier kind of be like, oh, how's it going to work here, 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 and here? Yeah, there's 7, but there's less fish in the pool, I guess, or
Yeah.
less fish in the pond.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, there are definitely gonna be some cool things. I want to see how they're gonna do like buzz droids. I can already see like a buzz droid missile where it's like, oh no, and you have to like worry about like shrugging off buzz droids.
What are your thoughts, William?
I'm pretty sure. I believe there's physical evidence or digital evidence of me calling this months ago.
Oh yeah.
That Jedi starfighters with force powers. I want those Jedi starfighters to have their ship ability be force charge based, whatever that is. Could be an extra. I want it to be an extra attack dice for a force charge. Sounds great. I was not expecting the scimitar, the Sith infiltrator.
Yep.
That one caught me by surprise. Didn't think they would do it.
Yeah, so and that one's going to be part of the Separatists. So if you're not familiar with the Clone Wars, the two factions names, we're going to have the Separatist Army and the Grand Republic. And it is interesting how, if you're familiar with the lore of Star Wars and how, Palpatine was essentially on both sides of the war and he's the one that started it, X, Y, and Z. It's interesting to see, Darth Maul's ship on the Separatist side because he was working as an agent of Darth Sidious, right, with Dooku, but like he's on. It's just I just think it's kind of cool, and we're gonna get to pilot Darth Maul, like you'll have that opportunity, which is super cool, and we'll see what kind of abilities it has. And I believe Nathan. Oh my God, why did I keep calling you Nathan? I'm sorry.
I don't know, but that's twice now.
Nate.
So I'm gonna have to take out one of. I'm gonna have to take one of your kidneys. Sorry.
See, third strike, Dion. You're off the podcast.
No, it was 2. Yeah, let's start calling him Dion.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm just shortening your name.
My name is Nate.
I know.
Like
Nate.
the only way you can make it
Sorry.
like even short as Nat or just N or.
All right. Anyway, Nate, let me know if I'm right
Yeah,
about this. I
okay.
believe the Sith infiltrator has cloaking ability. Am I right?
I think it does, and so I think it's gonna be interesting to see this. I was trying to think of other Sith ships. Oh god, that's gonna be like a tongue twister. That will be coming out and everything. God, what else was there? I know that there'll probably be Vulture droids, like people have been saying and everything. The Republic will probably get like old ass Y wings. They'll get Arc 170s, and probably like we said, the Jedi.
No, that does mean that we'll probably get the Y-wings with the armor on them.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
older, slower Y wings. Who knows?
Yeah, I know you don't, Dion, play Battlefront 2. Nate, have you ever played Battlefront 2?
No, because I like myself.
That's fair.
Sorry, I have,
But,
I have some words about that game, which we
Okay,
can discuss
well-
another time.
Anyways, the ships in that game, the Separatists have regular Vulture droids, they have Vulture bombers, and they have the Tri-Fighters. Those are their 3 main ships. And the Republic has Arcs, Y-Wings, I want to say Y-Wings, and V-Wings. They're very narrow. They kind of look like an A-Wing and a TIE Fighter mixed together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
V-Wings have been out in the canon for or non-canon, or extended universe for 20 years.
Well, now they're canon. So I would fully
Whoa.
expect those 3 ships plus the Jedi Starfighter and the Infiltrator coming into those factions.
Yep. That means we're gonna get an Obi-Wan Kenobi pilot. We'll get Anakin.
Plo Koon, definitely.
Plo Koon,
You-
for sure. If they don't do Plo Koon and like Kid Fisto and stuff like that, the main Jedi, that's a wasted opportunity. We might even
Would you-
Jedi that they could do.
Go ahead, Will.
Oh, I was just gonna say, would you assume that all of the Jedi Starfighter pilots would be unique then?
They have to be. They have to be, or they'll do something like an Initiative One,
Oh,
like
I
Padawan pilot or something like that.
I guess that's true. They did the TIE Advanced prototype V1 has just a non or excuse me a generic Inquisitor with a Force charge.
So
So I
it could
guess
be
it's possible.
like just Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm excited. Somebody here in the chat does mention Yoda crew question mark. Like that. That absolutely can be a thing.
Could be.
Why not? So I'm excited to see the developments that happen in having these other two factions. And I do know that the very like after the initial excitement, I kind of went like, holy crap, my wallet. Because I know myself, and I will buy them all.
I do have a question about all the factions all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Do you think that we will see a sharp decrease in Rebel and Empire expansions?
We have to, I mean, I think so this is that debate, right? Is what is going to be the competitive format? And I believe the main competitive format when it comes to our, North American championships and things like that is going to be only what's available per wave. I think they have to do it that way in order for newer players to have a chance. So then by the time that wave 3 comes along, everybody will have, everything. We'll have three to four pilots just for their faction. Like Scum already, by the end of wave 2 with that mining guild TIE fighter, will have 4 ships. So
See, I guess I'm on the opposite side of that. That I think while it goes against newer players, I think not allowing the conversion kits excludes the veteran players, the Wave 1, the Wave 2 players who own every single expansion. I think it actually hurts them, and it's not geared towards them. So I understand your point of view, but
yeah.
it will be interesting to see what they end up doing, what their final decision on that is.
Yeah. And I think, if they decide to make it so that the conversion kits are also legal the entire time, I think they have to probably increase the speed in which the waves come out to try to catch up, or it'll just end up being they're just going to say, hey, Rebels and Imperials just have a ton more and Scum just have a ton more options than everybody else until we catch up. Like they're just going to have to be very matter of fact about it, right? Or maybe even I don't know if that wouldn't really work either. Never mind. That was a dumb idea. But yeah, I mean, lots of stuff to come. We'll have 7 factions. 7. So we'll see how that shakes out. So that's everything essentially that happened in X-Wing at GenCon 2018 in an elongated version. I'm trying to think. Was there anything I missed when it came to GenCon? Anything we missed?
Oh, I played in a Lupin Chewie tournament.
Did you win?
No, I
Oh.
made the second round, but then I lost. It was by far the most outrageous thing I ever saw at a convention. There was probably, I would say, like 30 to 40 of us just screaming over this children's game, and the creator of it was just a great guy. He has no idea why we like the game so much, but he made a trophy and everything. He was all about it. It was also the last thing I did at Gen Con, so it was a real nice send off as well.
Awesome. Yes, I did. I believe I shook the hand of the North American Lupin Chewie champion before I left. I forgot his name. Congratulations to him though. He deserved it.
Oh, I forgot something. I'm gonna put a bounty out.
Uh-oh.
because we have a thief in X-Wing. Somebody has run off with my dice app charger.
Oh no.
Do you know who that person is?
No.
The one, the only Nathan Idy.
Oh,
Putting a bounty out for him because he took my dice app charger. So, I expect my dice app charger to return post haste, or I will unleash the full fury of Gold Squadron upon thee. That was given to me by Chris Allen,
that's right.
the one, the only, is cherished.
You'll get it back probably at some point. Alrighty, so let's wrap things up. We got a couple of just hitting on some of the upcoming events, but don't leave yet because I have a special announcement. And of course, I'm doing that thing where I save it for the end, so you have to listen through the rest because you don't know actually when I'm going to say it. Here we go. Are you ready? Here we go. So upcoming this weekend, like we talked about on Sunday, is our Pastimes Store Championship. So if you're local and you're watching live or you listen to this before Sunday, come on down. Let's send off first edition with a bang here at Pastimes and support your local game stores. Then, if you haven't remembered, the Minoc Open is going to be happening in November. I'm super excited. Gold Squadron Podcast is the official streamer for the Minoc Open. So if you haven't registered yet, go ahead, get signed up. Also, like we talked about earlier in the cast, sign up for that Gold Squadron Classic that's happening September 22nd. It's going to be the first big tournament that's happening for second edition anywhere in the United States. So come on down. It's for charity. It's supporting one of our local Boy Scouts troops so that they can get funds for camping, which is just a good cause. Don't forget to hit that Twitch Prime button every 30 days during the cast. There was a couple of people who did it. Thank you guys. Neo Saturn was just the last one. Remember to subscribe on YouTube. Look at all those awesome videos that we've put up. We're uploading, putting together for you guys. There's still a ton more. I mean, I had something like 45 hours worth of footage just from GenCon. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And huge thank you to our Patreon subscribers. You guys are the ones that drive our content and make all of this possible. I was actually working out just like budgeting and all that for the podcast, just like revisiting that today. And just the amount of money that I have been able to put to work has been fantastic. So thank you so much of you. I mean, it's something like 90% of it gets spent on just like plane tickets and hotels and just like just travel. But it's worth it because it's the content you guys want to drive. If you want to continue supporting us, please go to patreon.com/goldsquadron. So for our announcement, next week on our podcast, we're doing a raffle. We're doing a special raffle. And it's for what I believe is going to be one of the unicorns of alternate art cards for X-Wing 2nd Edition. And I don't have one of them to give away. I have, as of right now, more than one. But I'm not going to say how many. And that is the Lando from San Diego Comic-Con. Have it right here in hand. This was acquired for us by one of our patrons, Ethan Ward. He was at San Diego Comic-Con. He said, hey, I know Dion Morales Gold Squad podcast. Can we get some swag to give away on the podcast? And FFG was like, boom, we got you. So right here, we'll put it a little closer if you haven't seen this one. This is super awesome. It's going to be a little out of focus. But there it is. 2nd edition Lando. Going to be given away next week. And for patrons, if you're a $5 or a $4 patron, your swag has shipped already. The mystery card plus Soontir, Howlrunner, and want to make sure I don't say the wrong pilot, and Dutch. If you're a $3, $2 patron, yours will be shipping in the next week or so. I have the pile of envelopes right here. I'll even show you. Right there. This is the $3 pack right here. I have a piece of paper in here for some reason. Yeah, okay, yeah. This is the $3. See, there's my very official note. $3 patrons envelopes right there. I got to fill them up, but we have them all printed off. So for Nathaniel and William, my name's Dio Morales. Gold Squadron, out.